Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I can't believe I'm making this video. I never thought that I would ever get the chance to make this video. I am gonna do my first ever sketchbook walkthrough video. Not just any sketchbook, but the sketchbook that gave me creative freedom after almost a decade of creating art, and art in all sorts of mediums, honestly. So this sketchbook is really special, and I really want to share this with all of you. The reason why I find sketchbooks so special is because it's almost like this little window into someone's creative space. It's a place where they come out to play creatively, and I think creative play is the most gorgeous things to witness. And I've always wanted to do like a sketchbook tour kind of a video, but I always had like half-finished sketchbook, as almost all artists have, but then it never gave me that creative joy where I would willingly want to come out and play in that sketchbook like it's my playground for my creativity. So finally, now that I'm doing it for like over a month and a half, I can probably say that this one is the medium or is the style that is allowing me that creative freedom that I've been craving for many years. And I think this might be the most personal yet powerful thing I've ever shared, because this is something that I did for myself. I didn't share it for at least half of the time that I was doing it, and then I slowly started sharing it when I wanted to share it, not because I had to share it to maintain a consistent posting schedule or something. So this makes it really special because of which I really wanted to protect it as well, because I was almost like, oh my god, don't leave me. It's almost like protecting that little flame. But I think when I did start posting about it, like on my Substack, it just like, I don't know, my subscribers just lapped it up. Like it's almost like everyone wants to have that kind of creative freedom where they document things intentionally, but yet it's not something that feels very monumental or very intense, and there's a lot of friction mentally and also when you're actually doing it. So everyone lapped it up so quickly that I was like, okay, well, if it's helping so many people find their creativity, I think I owe it to my talk to do the walk, and that's when I started sharing it a little more regularly and wrote so many articles around it. I'll leave the link in my description so that you can actually go and check those articles out. There are a lot of free resources as well for you to get started. And I'm also hosting a free virtual session on, how to get started with illustrated journaling or sketchnoting. The name really doesn't matter. And yeah, I think it'll be fun for you to come and join. But let's get on to the main star of the show, my precious sketchbook. Okay then, let's get started. So this is how the sketchbook looks. It's a very tiny one. That's my hand for reference. It's, I guess, an A5 size. So this sketchbook has been there since a couple of years now. I think at least 3 years. So I got these pocket size ones because they're easy to carry, it's portable, and the pages are thick enough that they don't bleed or they don't really, transfer to the next page, which I think is very important because I'm very shifty with the kind of media that I use. So I need something that will sustain it all. So in the beginning, since I think this was, I'm guessing 2023, I wasn't really, going through a very artsy phase. I was in a very toxic job, so it had sucked all the creativity of my life. So I used to just go on Pinterest and copy these quotes, and I would just try and do something with my hands every day, which I think is very important. Like even if you're copying, I know copying, they say it's really bad and blah and blue, but at least when you're doing something, like I didn't post this somewhere or get something out of it. It was just for me to sustain a creative practice. So copying is okay with that when you can't really think of anything. Then there was a phase when I was really into making children's books or something. So I was experimenting with those kind of, different expressions, faces. My inner child is way too live and kicking. So I always tend towards these kind of illustrations because somehow they seem more fun, and how fun is growing up anyway. So this is a different thing that I was trying, a different medium. Clearly this was, I think, some cafe sketching, because I see a sticker from that particular cafe. Yeah, sketching. This was from my cafe sketching time. Yeah, this is 2024. Okay. I also tend to reflect a lot when I'm sketching, so especially when I'm sketching outside, I do have these kind of reflections also, which made me realize that I do like sketching, but I also like writing. But I hadn't found a style that really works for both. Like, this was a mental health event I had attended. This was sketched live. Then this was an M+ journaling workshop, which was honestly pretty boring. So I did sketch the whole time. Oh, this is a new phase. This phase was when I was doing a lot of, I was heavily inspired by collaging because of the possibilities and how forgiving it is. And I was really enjoying making this. This was back in Feb this year when I was back home. So I would do it every afternoon after lunch. I remember this very vividly. And it was a very fun medium. Like, this is from a very old book that I had as a kid. All these little bits and bobs that you see. This is from a post-it note. Then this is from another old book that I had as a kid. This is from those paper bags that they give you stuff packed in. You are what you do, not what you say you will do. And, you know, the little bit of, what's it called? This is called blackout poetry sort of a situation here. Then these are, oh, at home there is a lot of resources because my mom is also very creative. So she has a lot of these little stockpiles of things that she has kept. So it's really fun to probably, you know, dig into those. And oh, I quite like this quote. Maybe the word forever was made for memories and not for people. Wow, deep. And I also always have a lot of themes that relate to feelings, because I'm also a very, you know, emo person. And then this is, I think this was when I was exploring having collage elements as part of my upcoming book, because I also want the book to have visual elements. So I was thinking of incorporating collages, and also a lot to do with, you know, prompts that I would give for people to also follow along on the story. So it's actually active reading, not just words. So I think this is something that I was experimenting with. Ooh, quite deep. Will a white face make it better? They say it's temporary until it isn't. So this is definitely related to my book, because it's about creativity, identity, and representation. So I was exploring these different kind of collage styles for it. This is from a card, a wedding card invitation. This is from a picture that my aunt had sent from one of her trips. This is my drawing. And this is from a very old poetry book. And yeah, these are just some line work that I had, you know, into my style kind of thing. And then 2 days prior to my trip to Thailand, I came across something called as sketchnoting. And I was like, this seems to be a decent mix between writing and also these little cute sketches around, or doodles around, whatever you want to call it. So I was like, ooh, you know, I'm going to start documenting this. And then this was made on the flight to Thailand. And, you know, I was like, if you see, it's very minimal with the illustration because I was super rusty. I hadn't doodled or illustrated anything in a while. So it's more wordy and very less of illustrations, which is fine. It's your sketchbook, it's your playground. And then I slowly started getting a little more into it. And this is all made in flight because I really don't watch anything in flight. It's always, I watch other screens. I don't know why. It saves me the decision making. I think I've also written that somewhere. Yeah, I never play my own movie. I always watch it on other screens so I can keep switching without making decisions. I've called myself out here. I have no idea. I don't know, is it because I'm child-free by choice that I always have a crying or a wailing kid on flight to, you know, screw everyone else's happiness. That's what I've written. 90% of the time there is a crying baby or a noisy child around. This is so true for all my flights. Never ever. And I always take the aisle seat. I said I never look outside the window because it makes me nauseous. And I'm lucky because my husband loves to sit the window seat. So that way we make a great couple, you know. Each gets his own thing. And yeah, oh, I've written it here. Aisle seat always. I don't know why, but I always want the aisle seat because it's the easiest to escape. I don't know why I'm always in this fight or flight mode. Ba-bang, ba-bang, the trip that literally changed my whole creativity game. We landed in Koh Samui. Now, this place is so freaking gorgeous. I'll link one of my older videos, I think, of Thailand. Oh my God, sometimes it's the place. This airport is nothing short of a resort. I've literally written that, it looked like a resort, the pristine beaches, the gorgeous flora and fauna, and the frangipani flowers everywhere, the yummy Thai food. Oh my gosh, this was my first time trying mango sticky rice, and I'm hooked, and I'm so, I don't know, like it's really not good because it's super heavy and it's super yummy at the same time. Now, this is what I would call a guilty pleasure. The pleasure should never be guilty, but hey, this one was. Look at me. This is literally me in the night market. So that was a nice, really lovely memory. I'll always remember. Now, this one is from, I think, the resort, the place that we stayed, actually, a really beautiful place. So there was a gym, there was a really well-lit gym, so I've written that as well. The breakfast buffet, but gosh, it was so yummy. So I'll burn the calories here, gain them right back in. And they had this really, they had this really interesting dessert, It was served in, it's actually served in Thai weddings, and it really reminded me of a dessert I used to really love as a child, like those chewy, I don't know, it's like this chewy, sugary thing. It's called a halwa, and they call it kalamea. I'm not too sure of my pronunciation on this one, but it's to die for. It's almost like it has crack in it, super addictive. And then, this was like when for the first time of the year, I was panicking, and the amount of accessories I bought on this trip is not funny. I think, why I'm wearing one of those. This is picked up from a random mall, but I'm still wearing it. When I look down on this one, I'm like, wow, I miss Thailand. And then I'd been eating a lot of these 7-Eleven meals. The 7-Eleven game over there is just next level. And minced chicken, fish sauce, spicy noodles. Yeah, yum, 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 yummy in my tummy. Ooh, and this was a very, very memorable day. I did my first stand-up paddle for the first time, and it was really a big deal for me because I'm someone who had water phobia. I learned swimming when I was like 27, that freaking late. And then to do stand-up paddle without falling in the first go, there's something called this talent. And overcoming phobia for that matter. And then, I also do record the bad things. It's not always the good things. So this is when we got a ticket, our first parking ticket, for parking in the wrong space. That was quite, easily missable. Then the night market scene in Thailand, I don't need to tell you. We saw this really raunchy dance right in the middle of the market. So that was that. And then there was this amazing beatboxer. I had, of course, mango sticky rice, had to have that. And some really bad tacos. So it was quite a mix. But the vibe, these little dots are enough to convey the vibe, or are they? Haha. Oh, then the second day that I went paddle boarding was not a good day. The sea was like, bitch, I'm gonna show you who's the boss here. And I couldn't even stand up for like even a second. I kept falling down, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna stand up today. And then, of course, I had copious amount of their dessert. It came in different flavors: pandan, peanut, sesame. Then, I did a kettlebell workout. I think that's what I mentioned here. And then we slept under the stars. That was so romantic. And then we went for a nice romantic dinner. This was a singer, and then a nice romantic evening. That was quite good. The food was pathetic, but the evening was nice and beautiful. And then we were leaving Koh Samui to go to this place called as Koh Phangan. And there were lots of these cute cats there. So I said, we'll miss the breakfast buffet, the beach, the resort. Oh, this is such a cute memory. I literally have a very cute photo of us having, our last meal in Koh Samui. I've written booty hole burner, chicken fried rice, because that's how spicy it was. And spicy pad thai. And then we reached Koh Phangan, and it was like the first speedboat ride that I had taken where I didn't puke. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, it was nice. And then when I reached Koh Phangan, it was like, what? Where are the people? Where? Was there an evacuation before we came? And then our resort was like so green, it almost felt like we were like in a rainforest or something. It was pretty good, actually. Then this was probably my most favorite memory from this place. So it actually starts from here. This one. So for this spread, I decided to change the title a bit. So I brought it here. So it starts with the hotel breakfast. The hotel was kind of mid, so the breakfast was like greasy and everything. But luckily, it was only us. So it was nice and private. So that I quite enjoyed. And then we had a really nice swim session. Had the best coconut of my life. If you see, you see me with this really cute flower thing in my hair. I was feeling like this Moana moment going on, it was really nice. And then we had a regular lunch, and then we explored this abandoned resort. Okay, I have videos of it which I haven't yet posted, which I think I should, because this resort was made as a replica of the Angkor Wat Bayon resort or something, Bayon temple, and he got sued and he had to literally abandon this resort. And I think trillions of dollars have gone in making this, but then he had to abandon it. And I had the balls and the goals to go and explore this in the evening when the sun was setting. I mean, this was the adventure of my lifetime. And then we literally somehow escaped, and then we came back and had some really good Indian food. And we were Googling about this place, and we read the horror stories about shamans and whatnot. We literally got lucky and then when I came out and actually was reading about it, I was like, fuck, we got lucky. So that night I slept with the lights on because I was like really scared. This was a really nice memory. Then, of course, the cats of Koh Phangan. Oh my God, they were so friendly. I'm not a touchy-feely person when it comes to animals, but these cats, like literally, look at this one, so cute. But I realized that I also need to work on my cat drawing skills. And then these are certain little quirky things that I noticed in this place. The flights fly really low. So I've written any low and I'll be wearing it as a hat. And then, I collected so many seashells. They're so gorgeous, so beautiful. Actually, I have some of them. I mean, look at them. I still have some of them. Actually, most of them. Look at these cuties. Oh my God, look at this one. Look at how cute they are. I actually gave some of them to my friends as well. But these are all the shells I collected. I felt like a shell millionaire. And this little marble as well. Look how beautiful it looks. It's like the whole world in here. And then I had this big one. It almost looks like these ancient, oh my God, there goes the marble. This ancient, lapel pin kind of things. So cute. Okay, and then, yeah, there were these ladies sitting and collecting, these little, I think mussels. They're called mussels if I'm not wrong. And they were collecting them in these little plastic cups. And they were like, yay, we'll fry them and eat them. And then there were these really chill cafes where people had really smoked up and they were like floating literally. So that's something. And then we went to a place called Chiang Rai. It's also in Thailand. And there were like huge roads and no people, empty houses. And this is a very, popular flower from where I come from. That's Kerala. And it's called golden shab because it literally looks like that. It's a very auspicious flower. It's actually the color of my nails. I didn't really have the same color. So yeah. And then the only people I've met, the shop lady who gave me bananas for free, and then 2 kid monks smuggling snacks. They literally hid the snack pack in their costume dress, whatever you want to call it, and like these jet black minor birds, and then where did all the people go? Hey, zero fucks. Literally, they look like that. I'm not kidding. Okay, let's move on to the temples that we visited in Chiang Rai. So there was the super gorgeous, pristine white temple. Then there was a blue temple, and then there was the black temple. So let's go one by one. The white temple, definitely, as the name suggests, was pristine white, filled with tourists. They were literally saying on the mic, "Madam, you cannot wear a spaghetti to the temple. Please cover your shoulders." So embarrassing. Good God, why? That's one way to get people to follow dress code. Then there was this blue temple filled with gorgeous blue architecture. I don't know, their architecture game is top notch. Less crowded, lovely designs. And I had 2 of these. These were these coconut ice creams that remind me of something I used to have as a kid. So yeah, I think I've written that as well. So best coconut ice cream of my life. I literally had 2 of these. So, and that was in this cone, which I would get only during that time when I was a kid. So it was very nostalgic. And then there was this black temple. This was built by this really whack architect slash painter, sculpturer. This was the size of the male organ he decided to draw. Very ambitious, and then this was outside the toilet, this one, and this was for the female organ, I'm being very political about it, but yeah, he was pretty ambitious with this. Then there was a black temple, then animal skins and skeletons everywhere, crocodile skin. I mean, I don't know, that guy was, I don't have words to describe without being offensive. And then this was on the flight back, so I was at the airport, I was feeling so depressed that we were coming back and, missing all these nice memories and then coming back to life in Hong Kong. So this was that. So there's always one kid, and I always manage to find them, that one booger eating kid, and then someone's watching the phone on loud. So annoying. I find this really annoying. This lady was so depressed, I don't think she smiled in 500 years. And then there's always this well-equipped traveler who's got the ear thing, the glasses, the night thing, everything, Then the over-accessorized one, clearly they bought all the accessories they found. I mean, I was also one of them, but then I didn't wear them all. The one who forgot sunscreen. Actually, my husband also looked like this because, yeah, he is like, sunscreen, what? And then that couple who's on their honeymoon, who's just come back from their honeymoon trip. Then suddenly my lines were getting shaky and I was like, fuck, there's a seat vibrator here. Someone who sits and shakes their leg and the whole row is like... Then there's one who went crazy on that duty-free shop, and then I literally remember the shopkeeper saying that, wait, there's 50% off, and the guy's wife literally went back in, and his hands were already full. Then that germaphobe, who's got the mask, who's got the sanitizer, and was finding everyone like this virus dumpiad. And then there is the kid, the fucking kid, the one crying kid, enough, And there's this fashionista, clad in athleisure and, all these matching things. And then that one person who was on their eat, pray, love trip, right? Not showered for 10 days, backpack, those dreadlocks. So that was that. So that was my trip to Thailand and how I documented it. And this is back to reality once I came back to Hong Kong. Probably I'll do this tour. This is still gone on for my time after I've come back as well, so which I'm quite proud of. So probably I'll do this tour another time, but I think this is inspiration enough for you to document your trips in a more intentional way. What's something I realized, when I looked through these sketches from, different phases of my life, and especially this last one, I think creativity honestly exists when we stop following all those rules. The ones that you've been told as a kid, the ones that you've imposed on yourself when you started, indulging in creativity as an adult, or all these little boundaries and these little shells we make for ourselves. I think creativity lies beyond all of these things. And also, I think it's a lot to do with letting go. I don't know how long I'll be sustaining with this. And I think I need to be okay with it. I think that's what gives, you the permission to actually flow with it rather than, trying to direct it in certain ways. If you're someone feeling creatively stuck, whether it comes to your art, your writing, let me just tell you, just pick up a notebook, whatever is your chosen medium, and just start. Okay, I know when people say that, it's so cliche, just start. You're like, start what? But what I mean to say is it could be as simple as copying something off Pinterest, like the way I started, copying something off Pinterest. Slowly, you'll get into the habit of actually putting something on paper, and then you might, diversify into something that, caught your attention. Honestly, for me personally, pro tip from all these years of experience, let me tell you, draw inspiration from life. There is no bigger muse than your own life. I think I'll do another video where I'll show you, now that I'm not traveling, now that I'm not in fun locations, I'm back to reality with chores and daily life and traffic and people in the busy Hong Kong. I'll tell you how I'm drawing inspiration for illustrating every day. It's from my own life, from all the emotions I feel, all the anxiety I feel, all the overthinking I do. So I'm documenting all of that as well. And I think if you can do that, you're never ever going to run out of ideas, because your life is endless as long as you live. So you have Inspo Pro Max. So I always feel your life is the best inspiration. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will find some inspiration. So, make sure to like, share, and subscribe this video, and let me know in the comments how you got your creative spark back. I read all the comments, and it's always good to be inspired by everyone around. Let me leave you with this one line, okay? Creativity begins where rules end. Let that be your takeaway from this video. Until next time, see you. Bye.